Today we have with us Mr. Parag Jain from RBS. So we are going to ask him a few questions.
Sure.
So sir, as we know that today the topic of our discussion is on machine learning and data science. So sir, the first question that I want to ask you is that machine learning and data science are disrupting technologies, as we know. So what do you think that how exactly it is helping in HR section?
See, I can talk from my experience.
Sure.
The HR function as a whole has pockets where there are repeated activities which and the volume would be very high in case you are hiring people. There will be people who will be applying right from the start, if I say. There will be people who will be joining, there will be people who will be going through the changes in their work, there will be people who will be leaving. All this creates a lot of repeated, I would say, repeated administrative type of activities. Now anything that is repeatable and is administrative in nature, where you are keying in something, pressing a button, that can get automated. It's a candidate for machine to learn that task, and then you can automate that. So the first benefit when you do that is, of course, the direct benefit is that you have 5 people working on a given process. You can reduce that to, let's say, 1 or 2 people who are only doing some value-added activity. The other piece is that when you do something manually, every time you do something manually, there is always a scope of manual error creeping into that process. When you automate something, you're not only just automating the task and reducing the amount of money that you are paying to the people, but you are also reducing the risk for the organization. So for me, in my function, whenever I am looking to automate something, I may not necessarily look at reducing people. I might want to retrain them and use them for something else. But for me, as a bank, the biggest problem is to reduce the risk for the organization.
Exactly.
And if I have to reduce that risk, I have to automate. And that is where I use many of those tools and technologies which are available, which are driven by machine learning and data science. So anything that has got to have artificial intelligence need to also have an aspect of a machine who is ready to learn. And then to back that up, I need lots of data and analyze that so that I can teach the machine. So I have processes where today I look at the resumes coming in, and a year back, if I had a team of 20 people who were only looking at screening the resumes, I've been able to automate that process through AI-based tools, which will look at my behavior, which will also look at the success rate of the resumes that I select, and basis that and few more parameters which you can configure, can pick up and tell you that these are the, out of hundreds and hundreds of resumes that you receive for a job, these are the top 10% resumes. So it kind of reduces my work, increases my efficiency as a recruiter, and also delivers a superior experience to the people who are looking to hire somebody. So that's a starting point. And then as we go into the employee life cycle processes, I have installed a chat bot that is available 24/7, where employees can go and ask policy related questions and get answers without being dependent on a human being. I've also installed implemented a learning management system, which is again AI based, where the sourcing of the content is partially done by the company, partially done through crowdsourcing from employees, and it delivers almost a similar kind of experience as you would get on Netflix. So today, just to summarize, anything that an organization is doing, especially within HR processes and finance processes, I think a lot of focus is on automating the activities that are repeatable in nature and that can reduce the risk for the organization, at the same time reduce the amount of effort that you put in as a manual person.
Okay, that's it. So like this is like one of the question like I actually wanted to ask. Well, like, do you think like nowadays, like be it data analytics, artificial intelligence, whatever you name it, now this is taking place, like it taking place in companies. Companies are using it. So as we know that this lessen up the work pressure for the even the management and the employees. So do you think like it will overtake them and then people will lose job after some time?
I think, and there are two schools of thoughts actually there. There are people, if you look at all the data that is there on internet, there are people who are predicting a doomsday scenario where a lot of people will lose their jobs, and there will be, I was reading an article a few days back, there was a scenario which somebody had kind of thought of where 20 years down the line, there will be hordes of people moving around with guns, with no other employment, looting people and so on. But at the same time, I think there is another school of thought that says that whenever there has been in past a change in either the technology, maybe industrial revolution is one example, or if there is a change in the cultural setup of the society that leads to such changes, there is always a positive and a negative side to both. I think in case of AI and ML, I think what is different, and it is too early to say whether the impact will be negative or positive, but I think one thing that we all need to understand is that any job that we are going to be doing in future would have a component of technology. And as the technology is getting smarter, a lot of data science understanding. I'm not saying that you need to be a data scientist, but you need to understand where you need to apply data science. You need to also understand what are the business scenarios where when you automate, you will have certain gains. It's not that all the processes can get automated. Yes, they can, but are they going to deliver you the same kind of gain? No, may not be. Anything that requires human to human interaction might not be automated. Even if you try to automate, you may reach a certain level of accuracy, so you might end up spending a lot of money, may not be getting that kind of gain that you are looking for. So, I mean, in a nutshell, I think that we need to, still too early, I guess, but we need to see that as an individual, am I, in whatever age I am I prepared for the technologies that are coming in? If I am not prepared, it will be really difficult for me to understand and get a job in this world. That's for sure. I am personally also of the view that maybe there will be a crisis also, but it's too early to say. Maybe the major difference is that in case of industrial revolution, the things that got changed were only specific to one or two industries, manufacturing industries, so to say. Other industries were still kind of growing and generating employment, and people were able to learn those technologies or trade, and they were able to get into those jobs. In case of AI ML, it's not that simple. AI ML data science applies to every industry. All the industries are impacted by this. Is it easy to understand each of these technologies? May not be. Easy to use, but may not be easy to understand. So that's something which we need to think when we are thinking about this. There is no clear-cut answer in terms of whether job loss would happen. Maybe there would be. Maybe enough replacement would not happen. But I think it's just a matter of all of us kind of looking up towards the future and keep a positive outlook and think that something will happen that will probably give us those job opportunities which we are going to look through AI.